The NBA season is filled with ups and downs, as there are moments when everything is going great and winning seems easy, or times where you're losing and teammates and coaches can get heated. We've seen multiple moments in the NBA where coaches and players didn't get along, some of them leading to trades, and some of them lead to trying to kill one another. So in this video, we're going to be going over these 5 NBA players who couldn't stand their head coach. Cue the intro. Dwight Howard and Stan Van Gundy. Like most feuds, things started off pretty well at the beginning, as when Stan Van Gundy took over the Orlando Magic in the 2007 and 8 season, things were going great between Dwight and Stan. The Magic won 52 games with the addition of Rashard Lewis on the roster, compared to 40 the previous season, and Dwight Howard took his game to the next level, as he finished 5th in MVP voting. Fast forward to 2011, and Dwight Howard now has 3 consecutive Defensive Player of the Year awards, a trip to the NBA Finals, and Dwight and Van Gundy's relationship is strong. But the very next season in 2011 and 12 was when things got bad between them two. Dwight was frustrated with the team's lack of playoff success and demanded the team to either fire Van Gundy or trade him. This news ended up going public, and not too long after, we saw the very awkward interview where Dwight hopped into Van Gundy's interview during practice, and he put his arm around him, joking and acting all awkward, knowing Van Gundy knew he wanted him fired. This led to a very long season for the Magic, where they lost in the first round of the playoffs again, and after that season, Van Gundy left the Magic and Dwight was traded to the Los Angeles Lakers. Rajon Rondo and Rick Carlisle. Rajon Rondo during his time with the Boston Celtics was one of the smartest, high IQ point guards in the league, as he led the league in assists 2 years in a row in 2012 and 2013. Plus helped lead the Celtics to multiple deep playoff runs. But in the 2014-15 season, the Celtics core of Pierce, Garnett, Allen, all those guys were gone, and Rondo ended up getting traded to the Dallas Mavericks halfway through the season. During his short stint in Dallas, which lasted just 46 games, Rondo didn't have the best relationship with the Mavs head coach, Rick Carlisle. Things started off well though, as the Mavs got an all-star caliber point guard that they needed to pair with Dirk, plus had other good offensive options around them in Monte Ellis and Chandler Parsons. But on February 24, 2015, a game against the Raptors in Dallas, Rondo and Carlisle are seen shouting at each other after Rondo doesn't follow a play in the third quarter, leading to Rondo being benched for the remainder of the game. This led to Rondo being suspended for 1 game, and things didn't get much better throughout the season. In the playoffs that year against the Houston Rockets, Rondo was seen visibly not trying at all on the court, getting 8-second violations, not playing defense, taking bad shots, bad turnovers, literally doing anything to get benched, which he ended up being. Rondo and Carlisle could just never see eye to eye, as Carlisle likes to run the offense using a lot of ball movement, plus a point guard that can shoot the 3 ball, as we see today with Halliburton and the Indiana Pacers. But Rondo was a very ball-dominant guard with a not-so-good 3-pointer, and after that 2015 playoff series against the Rockets, Rondo left the Mavs in free agency to join the Sacramento Kings, and their relationship was left in the past. Shaq and Pat Riley. Anyone who remembers Shaq on the NBA court knew he wasn't the nicest player, and was somewhat of a bully. If Shaq didn't have respect for you, expect him to say some harsh words your way. When Shaq got traded to the Miami Heat in 2004, he did not respect the Heat's head coach at the time, Stan Van Gundy, not one bit. Even though he was a great coach, their feud got so bad that they let Van Gundy go. Plus, Pat Riley wanted to coach the Miami Heat again, as he was the coach of the team from 1995 to 2003, but moved into the front office while Stan was the coach. After the Heat moved on from Stan Van Gundy and Pat Riley was their coach again, his relationship with Shaq couldn't have been any better, as they won the 2006 NBA title in their first season together. Shaq wasn't the same player he was during his early days, but he was still an all-star center at the time. However, after that 2006 NBA title, things would only go downhill with their relationship, and the team. Shaq came into the 2006 and 7 season extremely overweight and out of shape, and we all know Pat Riley for being extremely tough and critical as a coach and a person. This did not fly well at all for Riley, as they had many arguments during the season. Shaq only played 40 games, averaged a career low 17 points per game, and the Heat got swept in the first round of the playoffs. The very next season in 2008, Shaq and Riley got into a shouting match at practice that got so bad, we never saw Shaq suit up for the Miami Heat again, and was traded to the Phoenix Suns. What started out as such a strong player and coach relationship exploded right in their faces in just a couple seasons. Stephon Marbury and Isaiah Thomas. Although Marbury was a hell of a player during his time in the NBA, he was also a hell of a character. Kinda like Allen Iverson, Marbury's ego and hip-hop swag made him one of the biggest players during the late 90s and early 2000s. Larry Brown, the coach of the Sixers during Iverson's time there, was also the head coach of the New York Knicks when Marbury made his arrival in 2005. Although Brown was used to coaching players like AI who had a big ego, he and Marbury didn't mesh well together, and the Knicks fired Larry Brown, bringing in Isaiah Thomas to start the 2006 and 7 season. Thomas was a big supporter of Marbury, as Thomas acquired Marbury through a trade while he was the president of the Knicks, before he was the coach. But as soon as the season started, it didn't take long for Isaiah to see what he got himself into. Marbury and Thomas were constantly bickering. The Knicks were terrible, finishing the 2006 and 7 season with just 33 wins. And when Thomas started to bring Marbury off the bench, this is where things would escalate. There were reports that punches were thrown between them two, but it was never 100% confirmed. Marbury literally wanted to kill Thomas, and not long after, the Knicks traded Marbury, who would go on to play just one more year in the NBA before going overseas at just 31 years old. And Isaiah Thomas was fired as the Knicks head coach and has never coached an NBA game ever again. Latrell Sprewell and PJ Carlesimo. Now here is a juicy story, as this is arguably the biggest feud between a player and a head coach in NBA history. Sprewell just came off another All-Star season in 96-97, putting up 24 points per game and making his first All-NBA team. But in the beginning of the 97-98 season, during a practice session with the Golden State Warriors, PJ Carlesimo, the new head coach for the Warriors, told Sprewell to put more mustard into his passes during practice. Sprewell brushed it off the first few times, but as I'm sure many of you are aware of, Sprewell was a bit of a hothead who could easily lose his temper, and as PJ Carlesimo repeated that he wanted more mustard in his passes, this time shouting at him, Sprewell had enough. Latrell charged at his coach, strangling him by the neck with his hands for about 10 seconds, until other players at the practice finally broke them apart. Sprewell went into the locker room, thinking this was all over with, but he came right back out 10 minutes after wanting to hurt Carlesimo even more. After this war was over, the team tried to cover up this entire situation, but the scratches on Carlesimo's neck opened up an investigation. After the league found out, Sprewell was suspended 68 games. Sprewell was just 27 years old at the time this occurred, and although he had some pretty good years on the Knicks after, Sprewell would never return as the same player he used to be, as this incident had a huge stain on his reputation. Thank you guys if you made it to the end of this video. If you like this video and want to see more content just like this one, drop a like and subscribe to the channel for new videos every week. And if you guys think any other player-coach feuds should have made this list, drop it in the comment section below. Thank you guys, and I will see you in the next video.